weapons and that kind of
Cheese.
stuff. And your first answer is cheese.
Cheese. Do you understand how vital cheese is to society? We can't have cheese without society, man. That shit is going to remind you of what society used to be. Because you need time to make cheese, man. And you know how you have time to make cheese? There is no war. There are no living dead. You don't have to go from place to place. So things that you lose in society, you know what you lose? You lose cheese, flushable toilets.
Pretty much everything.
Babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, babies.
So
it's hardcore, man.
In high school, I had a shirt that just said cheese on it. And one of my best friends growing up loved cheese. So maybe you and I kicked it off because of your love of cheese.
You cannot discount the value of cheese. Dairy products in particular, man, it require time and a lack of the undead.
What about pizza cheese?
Pizza cheese is trash, man.
What about if it has corn in it?
Well, now you're talking Korean pizza cheese. So that's a whole other story. That cheese always tastes weird. But it's acceptable. If there's nothing else, you will eat just a pack of 64 slices of quote unquote American cheese processed. What else you got in the movie, man?
I mean,
because cheese is my first thing.
What did you think about kind of the dynamics between the four? I mean, Francine at first, she's like, I didn't have time to make you dinner. I didn't have this, but I think she's full of some very practical ideas. She knows that, nothing gold can stay. She knows that the mall it's not going to last. And in fact, they took their eyes off the prize. Like they just got comfy and then outside was coming to them. So she's like, I want to learn how to fly the helicopter. And Flyboy got mad at her. She didn't even say, I want to learn. She got real feminine on him. I don't know about you, but I want to learn how to fly that helicopter. She was like, no, you didn't, girl. Got on him. And she's right, though. Like, that's a right.
Absolutely.
And then she started
100%.
shooting. I liked when she had the gun and she was learning kind of how to shoot the zombies. And then they were shooting at the ice rink. And then she knew how to fly the helicopter. I mean, she came a long way from her ordeal with the Hare Krishna zombie.
Oh, which was creepy. Yeah, because she... And at the beginning of the movie, she's basically having a PTSD nightmare.
Yep.
Just to show you how bad it's been. This, even though the movie is 10 years after the first Night of the Living Dead, this is 3 weeks. And in 3 weeks, society is almost gone. So her nightmares in the beginning, as you watch the rest of the movie and you see how the zombies really are and they really act, she has gone through some of this.
Yeah.
And they can't get off the air. She's sleeping in office, probably because she would rather not be walking around and just get nibbled on in the parking lot by Steve, And he used to bring her coffee.
I love he did bring her coffee. That was nice. I like the, oh man, what was I going to say? I had something with her. Oh no, when Steven says, look what we did in an afternoon. Like, look what 3 or 4 of us did. I know, all right, listen. I know Roger gets bit because he was, but that was him as a person. He was cavalier. But these 3-4 people were able to lock off an entire mall and kill hundreds of zombies just by being smart.
Yeah, and working together. Working together.
I drive to Atlanta in the morning and no one knows how to merge. No one knows how to zipper merge. People speed and then slam on their brakes. They don't let other cars. If someone puts their blinker on with plenty of time to get in another lane, a person will speed up. So
that's right.
He asked this question, why don't more people do this? But I think that's fair because I don't think a lot of people would do that. We would immediately go, I'm number one, as opposed to let's all live. And so I guess I get how a zombie apocalypse would go bad. They keep their dead in the basement.
That's right.
And also, would you want to shoot this person who became a zombie? It's a very interesting moral question, but also it speaks towards, it's also very interesting because humans in this, there's a lot of consumerism. We have all that going on in our lives and it hits you over the head with it, but also we're very thinking about ourselves as far as individualistic things. So we all come together to consume, but we're also individuals who think about ourselves first in this. So, I mean, Romero knew what he was doing. So this is a very, I think people who don't like horror films embrace this theme. So it's like an intellectual horror film and it's a gorehound horror film.
That's right. They clear the mall and then they have access to the pinnacle of 1978 fashion, food, and merchandise. And they spend maybe the first month and a half Just, oh, this is a nice suit. Oh, wow, this table is made of cheese, you know? And they play with these things. And then the boredom sets in. That one shot of Peter and Fran in the bed, and it's just zooming out, and they're just not even looking at each other because they're completely satisfied. They're completely safe. And what is the point? Because there is no society. There's no more people. They're completely alone. And another great thing about the way that they all get along, there's no id, ego, super ego, you know, like Star Trek and a lot of other movies, you know. A lot of other movies, you get three characters. One guy's the jerk, one guy's logical, one guy's the wild card. This, everybody is pretty much the same. We don't want to die. We're going to figure it out. We're going to work together. We're not making stupid decisions, except for, unfortunately, Roger, who just loses it. It's a brilliant movie.
That's a great point that you make. I think in the beginning, Flyboy's a little jealous, I guess, because, you know, Raj and Peter are just badasses. And Flyboy's not. He fumbles. He fumbles when that zombie comes at him. It's a tense scene for sure. And I don't know how I would react, but he's not this guy.
He can't shoot. That's right. He definitely can't shoot. He can't take care of himself.
But then he becomes a constant to Peter. Peter starts to kind of rely on Flyboy. And I kind of liked how that developed. And I also liked how Francine wanted to learn how to fly a helicopter. So you're right. That's a really good point you made about how they do all that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they get it pretty early on that, the world is over. And in the extended mall hours cut, they have a part. So who did you left behind? Who did you leave behind? Oh, my ex-wife. Oh, my friend, my brothers, you know? So they realize these people are dead. We are done. It is the four of us. We got to work together, period. So that minimum is set right there in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
That's interesting.
And the arcs go from there. Yeah.
And it all goes to hell when Flyboy, hundreds of bikers are in there. Those actually brought in pagans to do that, the pagan motorcycle gang. But
that's awesome.
He's like, this is mine. And he basically causes all them to die. Like, he dies, selfish. The other two. I mean, they couldn't have gotten that mall back. The mall was a lost cause. All the bullets were stolen, all that. But he goes, this is ours. They could have just gotten the heck out of there.
Exactly. Peter's plan was stay hidden. Let them tear the place up. You know, we'll try to put it back together. Worst come to worst, we'll leave. But like you said, his selfishness finally pops up. And it's a little bit out of character because as you watch the movie, I mean, he just wants to be living with Fran and have the baby. You know, I don't really think he's a super selfish guy, but it makes sense. It makes sense. It pops up out of nowhere, but it makes sense. You get it because they worked hard and their friend died, for Christ's sake, to get this place. So yeah, it's mine. I want it.
Yeah, and then that just, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting though. Like it's just, and at the end, it's human versus human with zombies also there. The zombies become secondary. I don't know, man. Romero's a smart guy. He knew what he was saying, and I kind of love that about him.
Yeah, man. Look, man, the late 70s in America, you know, the money, inflation, not so good. Layoffs that used to be temporary are now, actually don't come back. So there's a lot of uncertainty. And all of these people in the 60s, they were super happy, or quote unquote, they were super happy. You know, the future is here. We're going to be strong, great America. 10 years later, stuff's getting dark. The 80s are here. Things are getting dark. The problems are not being solved. This movie is just telling you, hey, you know what? There's a good chance that the ending is not going to be happy. And that's what a lot of Romero movies did. That's why a lot of people will never let these movies go, man.
So I showed my students Night of the Living Dead, the original. And at the end, when Dwayne Jones is shot, everyone in the classroom just went, I hate you, Mark. Like they got mad at me. Mad.
Exactly.
But how many movies have you watched, though, where it elicits an emotion? So I'm not going to get into the whole like cinema of superhero movies and all this, but that movie infuriated people at the end. It stirred emotions. It is a film. And I think there's so many moments in this movie, though, where you feel And I don't know, I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's just Romero's heart coming through, or his let's see what happens directorial style. But I don't know.
It's the he had the balls to say, you know what? Everybody dies. The end. Everybody dies. The end. And it wasn't a time where everybody dies. The end. You know, it was, oh, we will survive. And there is now a cure for zombies. Yay. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite sci-fi movies, War of the Worlds, the Martians come, stomp mankind in less than a week.
Yep.
They dropped in the George Pal version, they drop atomic bombs on them. The Martians, no, stomp mankind, dead, stomp, stomp. And there is no hope in that movie.
Yep.
And then suddenly the disease gets them. The end. And people are like,
the aliens get sick, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Disease. Just basic bacterial diseases get them.
That's funny.
But that is one of my favorite movies of all time as well. Even that old George Pal version with that, it's an iconic sound. And, you know, I bet you Romero grew up watching that movie like, yeah, okay, let's erase the world, man. Let's not make a happy ending, actually. Yeah.
Do you think Day of the Dead was too unhappy?
Day of the Dead was definitely bleak, but it's the logical conclusion, man.
Yeah.
Because people, like you said, you know, the people work together, things get done, they take the mall, everything is fine. But these people here, they don't have the supplies, and their goal is to find a cure.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. The soldiers are scared. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. Nobody even knows what the cause is. And like the doctor says, R.I.P. that guy, Richard Liberty, 400,000 to 1. It's game over, man.
Yeah.
What are we doing in this bunker?
You're Hudson. Yeah. You're Hudson and Aliens.
Yeah, it's a wrap. What are we doing in this bunker talking about a cure? 400,000 to 1. The smartest zombie in here still can... Aunt Alicia! He barely speaks English. Oh, no, there's no cure. And like my man with the bad Jamaican accent. What are we still doing here? Let's go, you and me. Let's go to an island. We make babies. And tell them never to come back here and touch these teens, no man.
If they remake that movie, you need to get cast in it.
Because we don't believe in what you're doing here, Sarah.
Oh, dude. Well, I thank you for promoting this movie, man, and telling me we should do it, because I loved watching this again and like having this conversation.
No problem. It's brilliant and dark, man. It's amazing.
What are we talking next?
I don't know, man. It's too bad your show is movie, films, and flicks, because then I would say let's just talk about Pinky and the Brain. Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Those idiots.
Ren and Stimpy, yeah.
All right, so that was Ren and Stimpy. I just mixed up Pinky and the Brain and Ren and Stimpy.
Children.
Talk about the tick. All right, so no, this was fun, man. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Norbert Cube Morvan, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.
Saskatoon!
Cube!